Hey guys, welcome. So this is Ajayi Joel and this is Climber. Today I'll be talking about the different ways to make money from your skill. And this, when I mean skill, when I'm talking about skill, I'm not just referring to tech skills, because most times we've like really gone to summarize skills to just be tech skills. There are different type of skills which I would not be mentioning in this post or in this video, but I would talk about it in like consequent videos. So if you're not subscribed to this channel, if you just stumbled on this, I want you to go subscribe to the channel, turn on post notifications so you will not miss out from other videos. So let's say you are a young African or a young Nigerian or a young person, and the problem you're currently facing, which is the problem that millions of people are facing at the moment, is how do I make money? Bills are piling up. The economy is things are getting so expensive, but the question everybody is still asking themselves is, how do I make money? The number one thing you need to do is apply for a job. Now, this might sound cliche, it might sound like everybody is saying go apply for a job. I don't know how to apply for a job. I don't know how to go about this. I've been getting loads of rejections in my inbox, and it's just normal. Not every recruiter would automatically believe that you're the best candidate for the job. Not every recruiter would even, like, recruiters are actually humans. They have their own bias, and they have the ways they use to pick people they want to employ. And it would be in your own best interest to go look for how you can actually scale through that. But I actually have a video that I will be making on how to get them to choose you, because a lot of people don't get employed, not because they are not good, not because their resumes are not good, but because even right from the start, from the beginning, your email is not being read. Nobody is reading your email. Like, they said there is an open position for this and this and this, apply. Then you send an email to the email, but nobody opens your email. That's because there are some things you need to do to get them to even open your email. That's one. Two, you are probably not even searching rightly, like you're searching the wrong platforms. You're waiting for information about jobs to come to you. There are ways to actually go search for this information. Like, there are ways to belong to circles where you can get information about job opportunities. So the first thing you need to do, which this is actually in form of an article, and if you want to read it, you can just go to climber.xyz and then read the article. But if you I'm making this video to make it easier for more people to watch and get more reach. So let's say you want to apply for a job and you have their email. They said send your resume to their email. Let's just use an example. Their email is tech@climber.xyz or tech@climber.com or at gmail.com, climber@gmail.com. You want to send an email to climber@gmail.com. What is your subject? The subject of your email. Most times, most of you just write application for the role of a writer. There are 1,000 people using that same application for the role of a writer. So when you're using application for the role of a writer as your heading, you're already limiting your chances of getting me, let's say I'm a recruiter, to open your email. There are 1,000 applications for the role of a writer. I would want to be going through all of them one after the other, and with time I might just get so tired and skip, open, skip, open, skip, open. That is exactly what happens, except if there is a system where they use to pick who they want to employ. But there are ways to be creative about it. From the email subject, most times I've taught a lot of people, hundreds of people, about how to go about this. Rather than use application for the role of a writer, you can use very creative heading. And most times it must be something that is intriguing enough for them to open that email. It must be something that talks about what you're offering and what they stand to benefit. Like, you make it creative. Let's say you want to apply for the role of a writer. Yeah, let's use that as an example. Content writing for company X. How I can make, or how I can triple the revenue of your company by, okay, how I can increase the revenue of your company by 3 times, or how your company can make XXXX figures through content writing. They'll be like, okay, let me just go check. Then you start with the introduction. Hello. So before you even try to do all of this, you must have done your research on the company. You must have done your research on the recruiter or the CEO. Sometimes the best way to even apply is not just applying directly to the company. You could actually apply to the company, then at the same time pitch yourself to the CEO or to the recruiter, maybe through LinkedIn, through their emails and some other things like that. But I'm going to be making a separate video on that to make it more detailed on how to apply for your first job and get it. But for this one, first thing you need to do, you want to make money from your skill, that anybody would advise you is that you should go apply for a job. So if you've not, and like I said earlier, it's not really easy getting the job because there's a huge talent gap, that's one. Then there is a huge job gap. There are like lots of people qualified for a role and there are fewer roles for these people. So the competition is high, but nevertheless, you need to keep applying for a job. Then number two, here is you need to learn how to freelance. Now, freelancing can be in different forms, and that's what people don't understand. Freelancing could be like you're freelancing on a freelance platform like Upwork and Fiverr. These are the two best platforms to actually freelance on. And I know about, there are many like freelancer.com. There are many freelancing platforms. But Upwork and Fiverr, Upwork is not really easy to set up an account. Probably I will host, I know a couple of people that I might get to host on how to set up an Upwork account that will be approved immediately. People have been setting up Upwork accounts. I've done this also over the years, like in years back, where I set up an Upwork account, get rejected, set up another one, get rejected, set up another one, get rejected. So I have a live session, one of these in live Climber live session where, and if you're not aware, Climber has live sessions every week where I will host someone who is a pro on Upwork and making lots of money on Upwork on how to like set up an Upwork account that will be approved. So you can actually use Upwork. Upwork has, they pay well on Upwork more than Fiverr, but Fiverr is easier to use. And what freelancing just is you're not working full-time for the company. They just need people to work for certain roles. Let's say I'm running this company, I need to build my website and optimize it. Instead of employing you for a full-time role for like months, I just need someone to build the website. I will have to go look for a freelancer, someone that can help me build my website. So most times I can actually come to this freelance platform because that is why they are built. Like they built Upwork for people to look for people that will help them do short-term gigs. Gigs is like short-term projects or people that are looking for people who would give them this gig. So that's like, it's a marketplace. That platform, Upwork, Fiverr, all these freelancing platforms, they are marketplaces where buyer of skills are looking for the sellers of skills. So you can actually go set up your account on Upwork. It's not really easy, but you can actually, that's why you need to turn off post notification so that you will get any notification. And if you're not subscribed to our newsletter, just go to climber.xyz. You would see the newsletter, subscribe to it so that you will get notified when this live lecture is going to be holding. And again, another way you can actually make money from freelancing is not just by using freelance platforms. You could actually use any other platform. You could use Instagram, you can use LinkedIn, you could use Facebook. But this time around, you're the one trying to go pitch yourself to these people. You discover that, oh, you have this skill, you're into research, you do research for companies, then you go out of your way to go pitch to companies. I can do research for your company, I can do research for your organization. This is my portfolio, this is what I've done over the time past. This too can actually be very hectic. And there are loads of templates that you can use to pitch to companies to offer your services. Because most times, how do you get them to see that what you're offering is valuable? How do you get them to believe that what you're offering is something they need to give you the gig for? Sometimes they might not even know they need the service. Like their website is shitty, their website is bad. They don't know that having a better website will optimize their sales by three times. You build websites, you want to get a gig. There are ways to actually communicate with them. It begins from understanding what you're offering down to understanding how to reach out to these people. Then number three is how do you convince them? So freelancing is beyond Upwork and Fiverr, but if you are into anything, just go to Upwork, go to Fiverr, check out if these skills are actually available on the platform, set them up. If you don't know how to set them up, just wait, anticipate when the next video will be made. Then number three, which is the last one, is you can turn your knowledge into a commodity. So the thing is, if jobs do not work for you, some people have like made fortune from turning what they know into commodities. And what that just means is you know how to write. You're a very good writer, you're a badass writer, but you're not getting a job. Nobody, these companies don't know how good you are. Like you don't know how to apply for these jobs to prove to them that you're the best candidate for the jobs. All fine and good. You could actually commoditize your knowledge. You could begin to teach people. And there are different ways to actually commoditize your knowledge, how to turn your knowledge into a commodity. You can actually use blogs. I'm going to make a full video on that. But for now, I'm just going to be explaining the basic things that you need to do. Like how you can commoditize what you know. Like anything you know, you can commoditize. And when I mean commoditize, you can sell the information of anything you know to people. And I always say this, that for everything you know, there are 10,000 people out there that need it. And out of these 10,000 people, maybe there are like 7,000 people that are ready to pay for it. So for anything, maybe how to sleep, how to write, how to think, how to drink, how to relax, how to improve mental health, how to make this type of hair. There are many people that want to buy these things for. So firstly, before you think about commoditizing your knowledge, you need to do these things that I listed out here. Well, you need to write out what you know or what you do. And you have to be very, very specific. You can play music. Be very specific. What type of musical instruments can you play? Or you can play the guitar. Now make it more specific again. What genre of music are you playing the guitar for? Are you playing it for the R&B? Are you playing for hip hop? Are you playing it for solo, or like are you playing for kids? Are you playing for grannies? Are you playing for old men? Like you have to break it down to be specific. What exactly? Oh, you write. Are you writing stories for kids? Are you writing stories that are fictional? Are you writing terrifying stories? You need to be specific. Are you writing stories for kids that are actually comedy or educational stories for kids? You have to be very specific. That's where you start from if you want to commoditize your knowledge. Then the next thing to do is choose the platform that works best for you. Now, once you've been able to figure out what you want to do, next thing is to figure out what platform do you want to maximize, because you could actually be using a wrong platform and think that you're doing yourself good, whereas you're hurting yourself, you're harming yourself. Do you want to use Facebook? If you're into things that involve design, using Instagram is like the best option, or like design platform like Pinterest and the likes. But if you're into something that is like writing, you cannot be using Instagram for things that are written. Do you understand? Like you thrive better if you're using platforms like blog platforms like Medium, or you're using Facebook, or you're using LinkedIn, or you want to break them into threads on Twitter. But Instagram would be the wrong platform. So you have to figure out the platform that you're going to be using. And I don't want to miss out on some things. Then lastly, you can actually, before you commoditize your knowledge, you can begin by growing an audience. You know, these things don't just work as magic. Like you just wake up and say you want to commoditize your knowledge and make sales from it in the next few days. Sometimes it might not work out for you. It's not rocket science. So you can begin by growing an audience, and your growing an audience has to be dependent on what you're offering and the platform where you're actually using. If you're writing, you can grow your audience via blogs. You begin to write on a blog. Just first start. Like that's the first advice I would give. Like just start first. Use these blogs. Like keep writing before you think about marketing, like scaling it and expanding it. Just start first. Write like 5 to 10 different blogs. Even though if nobody has read it, just have them down. Then the next thing you can begin to figure out is how do you bring people to begin to read your blogs. And that might be another video for another day. Like there are a lot of videos that are coming out from this. So the 3 different ways to turn your skill to money. One, you have to apply for jobs. You have to be aggressive. You also have to be specific. You also have to know how to go about this thing. Some people don't have jobs because they don't know how to go about this thing. But number 2 also is that you freelance, and you have to be ready to freelance. You don't freelance by saying you want to freelance. You freelance by putting in every effort you need to do to ensure that gigs are coming in constantly and everything. And lastly, you could actually commoditize your knowledge, like turn your knowledge into a product and sell it. So if you've learned from this thing, this is just the beginning. I want you to click the subscribe button again, turn on post notifications, share this with a friend, and you can actually begin your journey to earning from what you know or what you're doing. Like, this does not just apply to digital skills alone. If you're a doctor, you can actually start a blog for doctors. If you're a lawyer, you can start a blog for lawyers, grow it, and then maybe sell other informations in your newsletter or whatever way. And more videos are going to be coming down to teach you on how you can actually go about that.